Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. It is Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. I actually remembered the date from when I read it about 2 minutes ago before I started the video. Isn't that amazing? I thought so. You know, my memory is getting better. Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, today's video is going to be about something that happened to me yesterday. It was a horrible day, and I will tell you why in just a minute. But, you know, just to let you know, it's going to be a really grim topic, so you've been warned beforehand that we're going to get pretty grim here today. After all, it is grim survival, so that's what we do here. So yesterday was a horrible day for me. I am a truck driver, as I'm sure you know. I am currently sitting in a truck, as I usually do when I'm making videos, and yesterday I started my day pretty normal time I usually start, and I got to running and I hit some weird traffic jam that who knows what it was caused by. Slowed me down for about 30 minutes extra onto my day. A little bit later, probably about 2 hours after that, I ended up with a flat tire. I had a nail in my trailer tire. It took them an hour to fix the tire. There's another hour. That's about an hour and a half on my day. That's not really the point. I didn't make the video to complain about my day at all. What happened a little bit later than that day, yesterday, was the interesting thing. I was on Interstate 65 going southbound. I was near Lafayette, Indiana. Something happened in front of me. I don't know what, because I never saw it. It was at least 10 miles ahead of me at the time. Something shut down the interstate. Southbound side of Interstate 65 was completely closed. It was an accident, and from the CB reports that I heard, it was something involving a truck that had lost its cargo in the middle of the interstate. I hope nobody was hurt, but I really don't know. I never looked into it further to see what actually happened to cause it. But here's what happened to me and the 1,000 people around me, at least, is the interstate was closed. At one particular exit, they completely blocked it off, and the police were there, and they were forcing us off the interstate. They were forcing us into the outskirts of the city that we were near, which was Lafayette, Indiana. We were being forced in there. Now, the interesting thing happened is after they forced us off the interstate, we're in just as bad of a traffic jam trying to get onto a state highway. The police are actually directing traffic. They are forcing you to go one direction. You can only go onto the state highway and continue going south. Even if you, for some reason, came from the other direction or you live in the area, you had no choice. You are going south on that state highway and getting out of their town. They wanted you out of there as quickly as possible. They didn't want the congestion and the hectic traffic to be going every which way through their city, so they forced you out. You know, understandable, right? Who wants a bunch of trucks, you know, hundreds, literally hundreds, if not thousands of trucks, thousands of cars getting off at an exit and basically flooding your small area? I wouldn't want it, but hey. This got me thinking, what if, you know, this is this easy when there's an accident. It's an accident, and within 30 minutes they already are funneling traffic in one certain direction. They have roadblocks, they have police officers, they have barricades. You know, this was an accident. What if, just what if they did this on purpose because they wanted to funnel you somewhere? You got to think first, where in my day, from a tactical point of view, if you've ever read any kind of tactical books or know anything about battle tactics, war tactics, fighting tactics, basic self-defense tactics, common sense, if you have any kind of common sense, where are you most exposed in life on a day-to-day basis? And if you don't realize it, it's when you're in your vehicle. I mean, yeah, you're the farthest away from your home, where presumably all your supplies are, where your people you trust the most are. You know, everything that you need is at your home, and you're away from it in your vehicle, sometimes within more than a day's walk from your home. Because for somebody in decent shape who hikes a lot and is in a flat terrain area, 20 miles isn't unthinkable in a day. So most people go farther than that to work every day. So if you're more than 20 miles, if you're at 20 miles or over, you're more than a day's walk from home. And that also depends on your shape. If you're out of shape, 10 miles is probably out of walking distance for you for a day. You know, honest truth. So, yeah, walking is just never going to be an option. So everybody's always in their car, and everybody is always extremely exposed. Look at me right now. I'm sitting in an elevated position. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 6 windows. There's 2 windshields, so it's split in half. So I got 6 windows. There's 2 behind me. There's 2 on either sides. There's technically 2 in front. Count it as 1 if you want. Doesn't matter to me. Either way, there's windows all around me. I'm extremely exposed. From where I'm sitting, I know I could pick me off from 100, 200, 300 yards away. I wouldn't hear the shot before my head. We won't get all that graphic. I mean, I said grim, not graphic. So anyway, you get the point. Is you're extremely exposed in your car. So back to the point. They funneled us to a certain area. This was an accident. They did this very quickly. What if they were doing this on purpose? What if a government agency, government agencies are extremely organized. Police, medical personnel, fire department, they're all very organized people. National Guard, military get involved, and then you have a lot of very organized, heavily armed people. Police departments themselves are militarized now. They have every kind of armament that you would find on a soldier. Body armor, the same type of rifles and weapons. Some of them are select fire. Semi-auto is not always standard for police. A lot of times they can go full auto, same as the military personnel. They have all the same, well, most of the same vehicles and equipment that you can get for any basic, military unit. Anyway, so the police are pretty well militarized. Is my point there. But the point of the whole video is how easy they can just cordon you off and trap you. If you are in your vehicle, you are the most exposed you ever are. Even if you have a firearm, even if you have a combat rifle with you, you're usually alone in your vehicle when you are going to work or coming from work. Or you're even more exposed and in even more of a dangerous situation if you're going to or from a grocery store and you have children in your car. Then it's you and your children, and I mean, you're exposed. There's no help for you. There's no cover. Concealment and cover. Yeah, there's concealment, especially if you have tinted windows or you can hide in your floor. That means concealment, you're hiding. Cover means, whatever is between you and the problem is going to be able to stop a bullet. If the problem happens to be a police officer or a government official or a bunch of marauders, is dependent on your situation, I guess. It could go either way. Anyway, it really could at this point. So if they set up a roadblock personally, let's just, for example, my particular scenario, I'm coming down the Interstate 65, I'm in a truck, I'm shut down, they blocked off the road, police are funneling us off the interstate, they are forcing us to go in a certain place. Let's just say a big scenario, martial law has been announced, not publicly because nobody heard it on the radio, or truck drivers that are on the phone all the time or talking or listening to audiobooks. We don't listen to radios anyway, so sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I didn't get the news. CB, nobody knows. They just don't know. Something's happened, collapse, whatever. They're shutting down interstates and funneling people off. Okay, so I have to get off the interstate. So me and 1,000 other people are off the interstate, hundreds of trucks. They're funneling trucks, of course, in one certain area and cars in another, because that's how it's going to go. All the trucks that probably have people that have sleepers in them. This truck doesn't have a bed back there. It's not that kind of truck. Most trucks do. There's a dozen of them around me right now. Meaning they can stand up from their driver's seat, walk that way, take 2 steps, and there's a bed back there. Any truck like that, police officers are going to make those the lowest priority to remove. So truck drivers are probably going to get stuck there for quite a while and under guard, not allowed to leave their trucks. People in cars and people in trucks like mine, we're going to get pulled out of our trucks and we're going to get put to wherever they want us to go. Now, if you think you're going to fight somebody off or you're going to be able to escape or hide or run, you're in the middle of, let's just say, an interstate. You're under guard already. Before you even knew you were there. You can't turn around because there's so much traffic around you. I mean, you're stuck. You're not going anywhere. So now you've had to move your vehicle where you're extremely exposed. They can see everything you're doing. Even if you're in a small car, they can see you. Trust me. Even if you have tinted windows, they can see you. They can see everything you're doing. They have cameras watching you. They have dogs. They have guns. There's nothing you can do about it. So you have to park your vehicle wherever they told you to park, and now you have to get out of your vehicle. At that point, you're lined up and searched. If you have a weapon, it's removed. If you have a knife, it's removed. Because I don't consider knives weapons unless you're trying to kill somebody with it. But, that's beside the point. That's not technically the knife's fault. That's your fault. So, therefore, you're the weapon, in my opinion. But, that's beside the point. So at this point, you're in a line, you're disarmed, you're in a line, they've removed anything of value out of your vehicle, such as a bug out bag or any food or water supplies that you may have had for your person. They're now belonging to whatever entity has shut you down and taken you out of your vehicle. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. Even if you're traveling in a convoy and you have 10 people with you, what are you going to do against 200 police officers, 1,000 National Guard personnel, or a couple hundred thugs from an organized group of marauders if it's gotten that bad? What are you going to do? Pray to God. That's all I can tell you, because what am I going to do? Pull out my Glock and start shooting people? I'd be dead before I even took one of them out. I mean, as soon as I went like this, which, I'm right-handed, so now you know. As soon as I went like that, there would be so many bullets in me that I wouldn't even get my gun out of my holster. It's just not even feasible. Live to fight another day. Yeah, basically. It's not cowardly to not die for stupidity, so, in my opinion. If you want to be stupid and die, go for it. But me, I'm going to try to get back to my family at a later date, if at all possible. Assuming they're not in some FEMA camp somewhere, or worse, just depending on the scenario and situation. Point being, if you're in a vehicle and any kind of natural disaster happens, or any kind of civil unrest, whatever it may be, if you're in a vehicle, you're in the wrong place. If you are under fear of martial law, government taking people to FEMA camps or to whatever they call them, it's basically a jail, prison, whatever. If this is something that you are concerned with, and you see a traffic jam ahead of you, and you are getting no news from, say, phones, YouTubes, calls are not working, nothing's working, then personally, I would pull my car over if you're lucky enough to be in such a vehicle, and not something that's essentially 60 feet long, depending. Some of them are 70 feet long. The length of my truck matters not, but it's basically a giant sign that says, "Here I am." If you're not in one of those and you're in a vehicle, pull it over, get off the side of the road, grab your gear, and hide. That's your only option. If hiding actually works, if they're using thermal cameras, hiding will not work either. They will still catch you. So, I mean, it's up to you. Everybody likes to say, don't get on the bus. When they come to take you, don't go. Bug in. Bug in's the big one. Let's not bug out, let's bug in. All our supplies are at home, we're bugging in. Or people that are even bugging out. I mean, if you are against the United States government with its, 4 million soldiers and technology that you don't even know exists, the fact of the matter is if you have a cell phone, they can tap into it and watch and listen to you. They probably do it. I mean, just, you would be naive to think that it wasn't possible. Just consider the possibilities of that kind of power. I mean, really. So what chance do you have? If they want to funnel you off of an interstate or off of a side road and put security all around your car and 1,000 cars around you, what can you do? Unless the 1,000 people around you are all armed and trained and willing to die for their freedom in that moment, nah, they don't even know what freedom is. Your best bet is to stash your gun underneath your driver's seat, put your hands where they can see them, and surrender. Escape and evade. A video for another day. Escape and evade tactics. How to get out of, places that you don't want to be in. How to pick locks. How to get out of handcuffs. How to evade. To hide. The utilization of concealment more than cover. Knowing how to survive with absolutely nothing. Because in that kind of a scenario, when they've taken all your stuff and your gun and you're running, I mean, what do you have to survive with other than your brain at that point? So anyway, that is the grim topic of today, is, I guess, for the title of the video. And if they want you, they got you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't know what I'm going to name the video. I don't know. I have no clue. I'll think about it later. Probably as it's uploading before I post it. But really, I have no clue. Surrender and hope to escape later is my only thoughts on it. Guerrilla warfare has changed since guerrilla warfare was invented. Sure, it worked back in the 1700s. It worked for the Vietnamese in the Vietnam War. We have thermal imaging now. You can't hide in a hole underground. They have ground radar. They will find you. hiding is just not optional anymore. Straight up fighting with long range weapons is all we have. So basically our only hope, if the government decides to come and take us out, is hoping that the military personnel realize what's going on and don't follow through. That's, my hope. But people can be brainwashed fairly easily, and it's their goal to do that to military personnel. Keep that in mind. Good luck. Godspeed.